Welcome to the first ever, the inaugural edition of the Reau and
Reaudy
podcast, episode 1, just getting underway. And just let me give you all a little bit of background on me and Son here. I'm a father of 3 kids, and every single one of them is in some type of sports. I got a daughter in tennis, and my middle child is in dance. Yes, some people do consider that a sport, including my wife. I've had an argument with my wife on if dance is a sport or not. For relationship and marriage sake, we'll say that it is. My son here just finished up his 2nd season of tackle football, and he just made the basketball team, so I want to give you another congratulations on that. And he will be starting basketball here in a couple weeks. This will be his 2nd time playing basketball. The first time he didn't have to try out for the team. This time he had to try out, and you made the team on your very first time trying out for a basketball team, man. So congratulations once again. Okay, and for basketball practices in what? Couple weeks?
Uh-huh.
Okay, starting in January. But as you all can see, we are Steeler fans. He's representing the Burgh as well. We're both Steeler fans. And of course, they are coming off a tough loss on Saturday. You know, playoffs approaching. We had a chance. I'll say had a chance because after this past loss, I don't think we have much of a chance anymore. And if you ask me, I don't want to have a chance because our team definitely has a lot of holes. I want to get that high draft pick. I don't mind if we lose out to get a great draft pick so we can start filling some of them holes on our team. And so what do you think? Do you want the Steelers to keep winning this year, or would you like for us to lose so we can get a better draft pick?
I think that I would like for us to lose as well, so we have more time to look at the college players that are ready to be drafted next year.
Yeah, well, I think if we end the season not making the playoffs, the coaching staff can get straight to off-season work and scouting college players and things like that. So you make a good point as far as not making the playoffs. So we be able to scout college players, get to work on that, because our team has holes. You know, we got holes on the offensive line. Dan Moore, he ain't it. So, and Dan Moore, and this might be Cam Hayward's last year. He's 35, and he's getting older, so he may retire at the end of the season, or he might be what they call a cap casualty. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
Well, a cap casualty is when a person gets old, like 34, 35, and he's making too much money. Sometimes the NFL team will say, well, you're old, and of course your skills is going. You're making too much money. So what they can do is cut you in order to save money and get somebody younger who is fresher, who maybe has some upside and maybe able to grow, maybe not into the person that Cam Hayward was, but can be a starter, but comes at a cheaper price. So that might be one of the positions, defensive line, that we might look at in the draft as well. Like I said, Cam Hayward might retire. He might be a cap casualty. Ogunjobi, he's not playing real good this year. We signed him before the season, but No, go ahead.
I seen him make some plays.
He made like a couple, but he's just not been making enough plays. You know, he's not been standing out as someone on the defense that's playing great, especially for someone who's a veteran like he is, who flashes at times that make people think that he can make plays, but he doesn't do it on a consistent basis. So I don't know if they'll bring Ogunjobi back, but defensive line is a position I think they're going to look at in the draft. Another position I think they going to look at in the draft as well is cornerback. But, you know, because we got Patrick Peterson, he's older. yes, we have Joey Porter Jr., but
he gets too many gets too many penalties. It's always a grabbing call on him.
yeah, but he's still playing. Maybe he's getting penalties because he's a rookie and he has to learn just like any other rookie, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, rookies are going to come in, they're going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just as long as they don't suck or they're playing above decent. You know, if they're playing really good or great and just making mistakes like getting penalties, that's okay. That's okay. All right, so I want to talk about. Let's talk a little bit about the game against the Colts. The reason why we lost. I'll go with head coaching.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Head coaching. You know, when you're playing a team like the Colts, who they're not a good team. I mean, they're a decent team. Especially considering coming in with the injuries they had to their quarterback and to their star running back, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it's up to our coaching staff, and especially the way we got beat. We got beat
30-13.
To 13, man, against the Colts.
Yeah, the coaches definitely have to adjust.
They got to adjust. They got to put us in. They got to put the Steelers in a better position to succeed. You know, there was one play in the third quarter where we could have kicked a field goal with Chris Boswell, and it was going to be a 56-yard field goal, and he told him to get off the field. Let's punt. Like, I didn't understand that, and then his reasoning behind that at his press conference didn't make any sense. Like, well, we didn't have much going for us, so that's why I wanted to punt. Like, what?
If there's not much going for you guys, then at least get some more points on the board.
Yeah.
Then if you score, the score will be 22-30, and you guys could score again.
Well, that wasn't going to be the score at that time. I think it was going to be like, if we would have kicked that field goal, it would have been like 21,
16 to
20, 23. It would have been like, we would have been down by like 8 points.
Yeah.
At that point in time.
And then you guys, sorry.
But, you know, that's a defeatist attitude. Like, well, we didn't have much going for us at the time, so why even kick the field goal? That's a defeatist attitude. You know, that shows that, and there's a lot of talk, you know, why don't we trade Tomlin to another team in the off season? Why don't Tomlin get fired? You know, let me put you on the spot right here. Would you bring Mike Tomlin back next year? You would not? Okay. So there you have it. Reaudy says he would not bring Tomlin back next year. Should we bring Mike Tomlin back? You know what? I'm good either way with them firing him and bringing him back. I'm good with the Steelers bringing Mike Tomlin back next year if they get a great offensive coordinator. And that's just one more year. Like, if we bring Mike Tomlin back next year, I would be like, if I was ownership, I'd be like, he would definitely be on the hot seat. I'd be like, look, Mike, you got this year, you know, one more year to win a playoff game at least. If you don't, then we're moving on. But I would bring Mike, and if I bring Mike Tomlin back, we would have to hire a great offensive coordinator. A great offensive coordinator. So that I can at least see if the pick that Mike Tomlin made as far as Kenny Pickett was the right pick, because they're tied together. Mike Tomlin picked Kenny Pickett. That's his draft pick. And they're connected. They're linked together forever, you know, as far as the Steelers is concerned. So, yeah, we're going to need definitely a great offensive coordinator. One person whose name I would look at if he gets fired from Washington is Eric Bieniemy. Mike Tomlin and Eric Bieniemy worked together in 2006 against when they both coached for the Minnesota Vikings, so they have a connection. And I like Eric Bieniemy as an offensive coordinator because he's tough on his players, and he's had success in this league, obviously with Patrick Mahomes, and he has had success with Sam Howell in Washington, who was drafted later than what Kenny Pickett was. So if he can make it work with Sam Howell, and Kenny Pickett and Sam Howell, they have some of the similarities as far as their skill sets. Both mobile. I think their arm talent is comparable. So yeah, both didn't go to a big time college football program. So I think there's some similarities there as far as Kenny Pickett and Sam Howell. And I think if Eric Bieniemy can make it work with Sam Howell, I think he can more than likely possibly make it work with Kenny Pickett. Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think Kenny Pickett is worth... There's a lot of talk out there that we should draft a quarterback. Do you think Kenny Pickett deserves another chance as far as next year? Seeing if he can be our starter?
Well, yes. I think he should, because first he's a first round pick, and I feel like maybe just needs one more year.
Mm-hmm.
One more year to get kind of settled in, kind of.
I agree. I would give him one more year. Like I said, with a new offensive coordinator, and to see how he does. Because I don't think you can judge Kenny Pickett working under Matt Canada, and with Eddie Faulkner and what they was doing this year after Canada left, as far as one person designing the plays, the other dude being a play caller. I don't really think that's conducive to a quarterback in his progression as well. So let's get a great offensive coordinator in here working with Kenny Pickett, and then we can judge Kenny Pickett on if he can be the guy for the Steelers' future or not. So yeah, but anyway, let's lose the rest of these games so we can get this great draft pick. Hopefully it's a pick around 10, 11, 12, so we can start filling some of these holes on our team, and hopefully it's enough talent on the team so that we can judge Kenny Pickett next year. Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as the game on Saturday? Anything else that stood out? What do you think?
Well, what also stood out is they're kind of giving up too fast.
Yeah, how?
They could get I feel like when the team they could get a first down, and they all get kind of defeated.
They all get defeated?
Mm.
How, man? You gotta...
mentally defeated. They don't care anymore.
They don't care anymore? Yeah, there was a video out there of George Pickens blocking Jalen Warren. Jalen Samuels is an old running back, but there's a couple videos out there piggybacking off what you just said about the players giving up. George Pickens, he was blocking, and Jalen Warren could have scored a touchdown, but this dude's out there just standing there and not giving his best effort. You know, I know he's a young guy, man, but you out there on that field, I mean, you know this because you play tackle football, man. You gotta give it all you can for yourself and for your teammates. For yourself, so that you don't get what? Hurt. Yeah, because you can get hurt out there if you're not going 110%. And for your teammates, man. And we understand George Pickens. He might be a little frustrated, especially this year, with the offense and how it was and is performing. He came in with a lot of expectations in year 2, man. But I know that his season didn't go the way he wanted to, but you do got to be mentally strong enough to fight through that. and still go out there and give it 110% every single play. So we could have scored a touchdown on that Jalen Warren run, but he wasn't blocking as hard as he could have. And then also, Mitchell Trubisky threw an interception. This dude's like, man, I don't even care no more. You know, so he's a young guy, man. He got to show more passion, more heart. If you got passion and you got heart, you got love for the game, no matter what happens out there, if you winning, losing, you should play with maximum effort 100% of the time. You know, I know there's some talk out there, people wanting to get rid of George Pickens in the offseason. I don't subscribe to that notion. We got to keep George Pickens because he still has a load of potential. So, yeah, I see what you're saying as far as players out there not giving them maximum effort. Is there any other things that you've seen to tell yourself that this team ain't giving maximum effort? Anything else that stood out to you?
Yeah, just same thing with the defense.
Mm-hmm. Like what in particular, or just
like kind of like sorry tackles, like they break a lot of their tackles.
Yeah, you right again. There was a time during the Colts game where they ran the ball 13 times in a row. Can you believe that? 13 times in a row. And didn't even have Jonathan Taylor, their best running back. What do you think about that? How do you let a team run the ball 13 times in a row and they didn't even have their best running back?
That's sad. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. But, you know, that's why I said in the beginning of this conversation, a lot of holes on this team. A lot of holes on this team that need filled during the offseason. That's why I don't subscribe to the notion that we need to spend that first round pick on a quarterback. Because we can use that first round pick to fill another hole on our team while seeing and taking next year to see if Kenny Pickett is going to be that guy, especially with us bringing in a great offensive coordinator. So no first round pick, no quarterback for a first round pick. Nah. Let me ask you. Would you spend a first round pick on a quarterback?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't, because you know the same thing I said, like he's still first round. He's still a rookie, kind of. It's just a second year. I'll give him, you know, I'd still give him 1 more year.
Yeah, I agree. Now, with you playing and starting running back on your team, with you being a running back, let's talk about our running back situation. How do you feel about our running backs?
I feel like...
Let me ask you this. Who do you like better, Jalen Warren or Najee Harris?
I like Jalen Warren better.
Mm-hmm. Why do you like Jalen Warren better?
Because he's explosive, he's fast, he's physical. He can also.
Do me a favor, speak up too. Okay?
That's kind of it.
Because he's fast and he's physical.
Yeah, and explosive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I like Jalen Warren better too. That's why, and I'm gonna put this on coaching. Like, what is Mike Tomlin doing, giving Najee Harris the ball in critical situations? Like the Arizona game, we had a 4th down and 1 yard to 4th and goal. We had a 4th and goal. Probably the most crucial play in the game, and he gives the ball to Najee Harris over Jalen Warren. See, now that's why Mike Tomlin's butt, if he does come back, is going to be on a hot seat next year for decisions like that. What would make him, and he's coaching these players. He see them at practice every day. He see them during the games. What would make him give the ball in the Arizona Cardinals game on the most crucial play of the game on a 4th and goal on a 1-yard line, what would make him give the ball to Najee Harris? I know, speechless, right? He has a 10-year-old speechless. So if a 10-year-old speechless, you know how us adults feel. Like, and of course Najee didn't get it because he don't run with the physicality that a man 240 pounds should run with. Blasting up in there, pushing everybody back, especially when the team needs it the most. You know, and he's still giving the ball like, come on, like, why is this even, like, Jaylen Warren still ain't starting. Jaylen Warren should have been starting, what, 5-6 games ago?
I know, but I think that Warren started I think that he's playing hard because he's like, man, I want to start. Like, he's kind of like mad that he's not starting, so he puts that anger out on the field. So I don't think that he should keep starting. I don't think that he should start.
You know what? This boy right here that made a point I ain't even think of. That Jaylen Warren runs hard because he's not starting. I never thought of that point. And I'm sure there's some people out there that haven't thought of that point neither, man. So, great point. That probably has something to do with it. Man, y'all starting this Najee Harris over me? Let me get out there and show y'all I should be starting. So you give a good point. And that's probably the mentality that Jaylen Warren plays with because he was drafted in the later rounds. So he probably feeds off of that as far as emotion-wise. Man, they drafted me in the 5th or 6th round, whatever round Jaylen Warren was drafted. So let me get out there and prove to everyone that I'm just as good as a running back that was drafted in the 1st or 2nd round. Football is a game. You can play better. What did I tell you before? If you can find something that, motivates you. What?
Motivates.
If you can find something that motivates you. So, for instance, you next year, if you want to do it game by game or just for the season, find something that motivates you. If they're giving the ball to another running back on your team in practice or in the game, use that to light that fire under your butt so that when you get the ball, you running like a madman. Man, I'm out here, I'm going to get the ball, I'm going to make sure they don't give the ball to no one else. Ever. Because you'll be at your best if you find something that motivates you. The great players, Tom Brady, 6th round pick, and use that to fuel him for 20 years. 20. He used the fact that he was a 6th round pick to light his fire under his butt, and it lasted for 20 years. Can you believe that? Nobody thought I was good enough to be a 1st round pick, 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick. They picked me in the 6th round. They don't think I'm good enough. So I'm going to prove to everyone that I'm just as good as everybody out there. Just as good. Michael Jordan, he used that too, to use things that motivate him. Sometimes he would make up different, and I know we're supposed to be talking about the Steelers, but I always try to find something as a learning tool for the youngster right here to help him in his life. But Michael Jordan, sometimes he would make up something in his mind that somebody didn't like him. Why he doesn't like the way he thinks I'm trash. You can look it up on YouTube. He always took things personally. They think I'm trash. So I gotta go out there every game and dominate because they think I'm trash. So that's something, those are things mentally that you can make up in your mind so you can be great. But yeah, Jaylen Warren, would he run the same if he was his starter? Would that make him more comfortable? I don't know. I don't think so because, like I said, I think one of the reasons why he used the team because he was motivated for being maybe a late round draft pick. He might have been undrafted. I'm not sure, but
He was undrafted.
yeah, he was so he made the team as an undrafted player. So I think there's a lot of fire in that boy not to get complacent. You know what that word means? Complacent?
Good with what you have.
Satisfied.
Satisfied.
Yeah, basically satisfied. So, but yeah, Jaylen Warren, he needs to start. You know, he's like I said, he should have been starting a long time ago. He needs to start, but hey, at this point, I don't even care because I just want to see us lose so we can end up with that 7-10 record and get this great draft pick. So what else is going on in Steeler Nation that we need to discuss right now? Anything else going on in Steeler Nation? Deontay Johnson, let me ask you about him. Is he a number one receiver?
No.
Why do you think that?
Well, I think that he's not a number one receiver because, well, actually, I don't think he's like a number one receiver, but I think he's a good receiver. I don't think we have any number one receivers.
You don't think I agree with you. I would agree with you. I don't think we have any number one receivers right now. George Pickens could have been that. He still could be that. But right now he is not that. Deontay Johnson, he's a good number two. As far as the number one, nah, he ain't a number one receiver. He's a good number two. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. That's it for episode 1 of the
Reaudy
and Reau podcast. Yeah, we're just talking a little bit about our team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Be on the lookout for episode 2. I don't know what we're going to talk about next, but I guess we're going to find something to talk about. You got anything in mind right now?
No.
All right, well, we'll talk about it. What this next podcast is going to be. Like and subscribe to the channel, please. You can also find videos of this guy right here playing running back for our local tackle football team. And until next time,
Peace.
Peace.